Your water heater's burner fires an average of 3 to 5 times per hour, every hour. It happens even overnight and while you're at work. That's because the tank is a warm cylinder, radiating heat through its walls. The burner fires just to replace that radiated heat. This is called standby heat loss. A gas water heater with an EF of 0.67 uses all its gas to heat water, but only 67% reaches your tap. The remaining 33% is standby loss radiated through the walls. For a 50-gallon heater in a garage, this costs up to $263 per year. The wrap that cuts this loss by 45% costs just $14.97. Yet the utility company's guide often recommends a tankless upgrade for $1,200. The wrap's payback period? Only 4 months. Tankless units themselves are around $380, but installation fees bring the total to $1,200. A tankless system is a great long-term solution, but the cost comparison is the problem. The wrap saves over $1,400 in energy over the remaining life of a typical tank. It captures nearly half the efficiency gain at about 1% of the cost. The DOE documented this in 1977. It's in every efficiency guideline, but not in utility rebates. That's because a $15 hardware store purchase doesn't generate an installer commission. Here is the physics of why this works, even if your tank has internal insulation. Heat conducts based on Fourier's law, involving area, temperature differential, and material thickness. You have the steel shell, the factory foam, and the outer jacket. Factory foam brings the tank to about R8. Adding a 2-inch wrap doubles that resistance. This drops heat loss by nearly 50%, so your burner fires far less often. If your garage is 40 degrees in winter, the wrap generates maximum savings. Stop. Look at the 1977 records. Following the oil embargo, the DOE published guidelines to optimize residential energy. Tank insulation blankets were listed as the very first measure for cost-effectiveness. It stated this should precede replacement or conversion in any efficiency sequence. Most tanks built before 2005 have low factory insulation values. A wrap closes up to 70% of the gap between your tank and modern standards. Now, let's look at the restrictions and realities. Crucial, do not wrap the top of a gas heater. It is extremely dangerous and could lead to harmful fumes or fire. Always leave the top vents unobstructed. The flue vent exhausts hot combustion gases, and it must remain clear. Also, leave the thermostat access panel and pressure relief valve completely uncovered. For electric heaters, you can cover the top and the sides. If your tank is set above 130 degrees, check the wrap's heat rating first. If your tank is already rated R24, this wrap adds very little benefit. It takes 40 minutes. You need a utility knife and tape. Get an R8 minimum fiberglass blanket sized for your tank. Step 1. Measure your tank height and diameter to ensure a good fit. Step 2. Set the thermostat to the lowest setting for safety during installation. Step 3. Wrap it around the side walls and overlap the edges. Secure the wrap with the included installation tape. Make sure it's snug against the tank wall with no gaps. Finally, restore your original temperature setting. Total cost, $14.97. Your payback starts immediately. The 1977 guidelines were clear, yet the industry still pushes the $1,200 upgrade. The comparison hasn't changed in nearly 50 years. Tonight, check your label. If your EF is below 0.62, this wrap is your first move. Tell me in the comments, gas or electric, and where your tank is located. Each tank wrapped is over $60 back in your pocket every single year. Next, we're talking refrigerators. Your refrigerator's condenser coils are likely coated in dust. That adds nearly $100 to your annual electric bill. A brush that costs $4 cleans them in 11 minutes. This has been in manufacturer documentation since 1952. Yet appliance repair companies charge $89 for the exact same service. Hi there. We're introducing a new feature where I can read this aloud in a natural, human-like voice. Hi there. We're introducing a new feature where I can read this aloud in a natural, human-like voice. The insulation looks good, and the thermostat is set correctly. Your home is quite energy efficient. Hi there. The job's done. Looks great. I told you I could do it. Here to help, always.